All right, we're back on the same slide. Then on the top of page 245, there's a term called the construction loan. A construction loan is a short-term, like 12 months, high interest rate loan. Typically 2 times market value. That's a rule of thumb. Miguel said, wow. Why do you think that it's high? Why is it so high? They want you to refinance it, yes, but that's not why it's high. It's short term. You guys are missing the key point. It's high. Why is it high risk? Because there's no asset there. That's the main reason. Your bill, remember, it's a construction loan. There is no house. You literally are pointing at a field and go, there's where my house is going. And they go, okay, we'll loan you money, but there's no asset, there's no collateral, so we're going to charge you a higher interest rate until that happens. So a construction loan is a short-term, high-interest rate loan. It is designed to be refinanced with what they call a takeout loan or a permanent loan, or sometimes you hear it called perm. And now they actually do it as one thing. And you will hear this term called a construction to perm loan, where the bank automatically pays itself off with a new 30-year market interest rate loan so that you don't have to go through a refinance and pay secondary closing costs. And some banks won't do the construction loan if they don't get the long-term loan. You know, you might have Fifth Third doing a construction loan, then you go get your long-term loan over in that city and they refinance, pay it off, and Fifth Third says, we're not doing that anymore. No, that's not a tie-in agreement. Because they're calling it one loan. Very close to, though. I could see where you would think, yeah, we'll only do this one if you do this one. They call it one loan, where it automatically it's a construction to perm. They just don't want to do all the paperwork and only earn 10% simple interest for 1 year and be gone. What they want is the 30%, 30-year, because back when I showed you what does 30-year do to your money? Doubles it. They want that long-term loan, all right? So it's designed to be taken out, and theoretically it's taken out by what they call draws. When you get approved for that 100 grand, they don't hand you 100 grand, because if they did, I'd be in Barbados daring them to come find me. You know, what happens is the builder builds something and you go to the bank and go, hey, look, we have to pay the framing person and I need to draw out 20 grand. They draw out 20 grand, they pay that person off. Then they go, oh, we need to draw out this. Theoretically, what should happen is when you close the door on and it's finished, you draw the last dollar out. Now what you hope is you owe that 100, but now the finished house that's finished now appraises at 125. So now you've got your 80% loan to value. So you refinance at a 125 value, but you only have to pay off the 100, so you've got a 80% loan to value, no PMI. This is how builders make money. They build it for 100, but their refinance is a sale to an end user at $125,000. Hey, house appraises at 125, you pay 125, cost them the 100 to build it, you buy it from them, they pay off their construction loan and build another house. So all that profit that a builder makes, you can actually make and call it equity if you do your own GC work or you do your own construction. You get a construction loan. Sale leaseback. This is a financial trick that is beautiful. This happens way more often than you guys think. It probably happens more often than less. All right? It especially happens in commercial properties, especially with publicly traded companies. Because a mortgage shows up as a debt on a company's balance sheet. But a lease shows up as a short-term obligation. So it changes their financial look. So let me give you an example. Walgreens does not own their buildings. Matter of fact, it's easier for me to tell you who does. McDonald's does. Walmart does. Meijer does. Who? Chick-fil-A does. But you go to any of those other big ones, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, Kentucky Fried Chicken, those aren't all owned by them. They're owned by investors who buy them. Then what they do is they turn around and sell it and lease it back to them on a 30-year lease secured by corporate money. That way, now Taco Bell goes, we had no debt. Yeah, we got a lease, but we have no long-term debt. That makes their company look better on the public stock exchange. Dollar Tree doesn't own their buildings. Family Dollar doesn't own their buildings. Home Depot, you got $15 million, you can own a Home Depot. And you'll get like $30,000 a month for 30 years. But you got to have $15 million. And when you buy that and you lease it back, that lease is structured in such a way that using that present value of money or the net value of money, that you're making like 6 or 7% return on your $15 million. If you had $15 million laying around, would you rather put in a CD at 1% or Home Depot secured by corporate at 6%? You'd buy Home Depot. Happens all the time. Like I said, a lot more do it than you think do it, than don't do it. Walmart, what's the old running joke? McDonald's is not in the hamburger business. They're in the real estate business because they own their real estate. White Castle doesn't. Really? Actually, White Castle does what they call a land lease. They actually own the building, but not the land. But like Kentucky Fried, all of the Yum products, I know a guy that owns a Kentucky Fried Chicken in Dayton, Ohio, and has not been there in 9 years. They just mail him the check every first of the month. He gets his $16,000 at the first of the month every month, secured by their corporate. It's called a sale and a leaseback. Sale and a leaseback. The last one of these tricks is called a buy down. A buy down is a temporary or permanent prepayment of the interest rate. And I think I mentioned this slightly earlier that you can actually do this with PMI too. So if you had a really good mortgage broker and you called a really good mortgage broker today and you say, hey, what's the interest rate? A really good mortgage broker is going to tell you what you want it to be. Because I can make it anything you want. Well, market's 5 right now. That's true. You want a 4%? I get you a 4% loan. It's going to cost you $8,000 up front. We're going to prepay all that interest, but I'll get you a 4%. I can get you a 3.8. You want that? You can buy down the interest. This is what Chuck Morgan came up with, as in CP Morgan, where you would buy down the interest rate and make your 3,000 square foot house just $600 a month. And then next year when the buy down ended, it jumped up, and then the taxes hit and it jumped up, and then you lost your house. And that's why all the CP Morgan homes were HUD homes. And he got out and left and went to North Carolina. But I'm not bitter. I'm jealous. He was the first guy that actually started selling houses on house payments. That's how he was marketed. Everybody's like, oh, here's our house in the 120s. CP Morgan was what? 3,000 square foot house, $800 a month. And people will go, oh, I can afford $800 a month. Because that's how most people buy things. What's my car payment this month? What's my house payment? That's how much I make. Yeah, I can afford that. And he realized that, and that's how he was selling. All his billboards said it, if you remember that. 3,000 square foot house, $649 a month. All right? So that's buy down. Now we have a home equity loan. Let's talk about some legislation, but we're going to end this file and move to the next one.